Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Thor the Worthy Issue 1. And this was a pretty enjoyable one-shot issue. And I like the three different kind of stories that they had to just kind of explore some different characters that are worthy of, like, wielding Mjolnir and the power of Thor. So the first one is my favorite one, and it deals with Beta Ray Bill and Lady Sif as they're kind of walking around Asgard. Of course, Beta Ray Bill's in his warrior form because he doesn't want the beauty of Asgard to kind of distract him from his mission of protecting his people. But they happen upon this stone that has all these dead birds and like field mice around it, and suddenly Beta Ray Bill is zapped by some energy and returns to his normal non-warrior form. And Lady Sif, of course, uses her magic to peer into the past and see what's going on, and that this stone is the rock troll third, and that in the past he was eating some of Odin's sacred like herd, and we see a young boy kind of challenging him on it, and of course the rock troll wants to eat the child and follows him around and everything, saying that his father wouldn't be happy, so it's a young Thor. And he's able to keep the rock troll around enough until the sunlight comes and turns him back into the usual kind of material. Thor, of course, makes a kind of offering and is able to bring the rest of the herd home. And of course, this angers Thor. And he's been gathering all this energy to take on Thor and everything, but Sif is able to understand what's going on, is able to get Beta Ray Bill back into his more powered form. He's like, we might have a connection, but I've got enough strength to deal with this and use a Stormbreaker to break the rock apart. And as they're doing this, they're like, okay, he's kind of de-energized right now, and they just like, should we like be preparing for like all these little rock trolls and everything? And he's like, if we do, we'll deal with them in a small way. And they are able to find that Odin's around, and I was like, no, you're good. why why are you so worried, Beta Ray Bill? And he's of course worried about Surtur's demon hordes attacking his people, and that's why he's been wearing this form. He's like, no, you're good, Beta Ray Bill. You truly show why Mjolnir let you wield it, and that you should not feel that out of place in Asgard, offering an apple to restore his energy and say that like beauty is found in the heart, not just the form. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And he says that he's been keeping Third around to see if he'd pretty much learn anything, and says that he will reform him to see if give him another chance, saying that like even the gods live in hope for that kind of change and everything. I'm like, wow, that was actually a pretty cool story. And I just like that it was a great story that just dealt with Beta Ray Bill, Lady Sif, and just it had a really old school Thor feel to it. And just I really liked it a lot. So then we shifted to Thunderstrike and dealing with the Grey Gargoyle, as the Grey Gargoyle takes command of a chemical compound building because he wants to work on a more permanent way to turn people to stone, because with what he's got right now he can do it, but it's a temporary thing, and he wants to become more powerful, and kind of explaining his deal with Thor, how he wanted to achieve immortality by wielding Mjolnir but being stymied and being beaten by all these heroes. We also see that there's kind of a specialized police unit that is sent after him, and that Thunderstrike has been called upon to kind of deal with the situation as well. But he is having doubts and everything because he was not able to save one of the people from the squad. But he decides to change into his Thunderstrike form with his mace and fly off, and he's able to catch a stone person thrown out of the building. He's like, oh god, that would have been bad. And he's still kind of second guessing himself as the Great Gargoyle kind of comes out and starts doing battle with him, but he's like, oh god. And the rest of the police unit is fighting him more. Now, granted, they have some nice tricks up their sleeve and everything, but they're not able to kind of get him down on pat. They do one thing that allows this giant thing to be turned into stone, and he pretty much uses it to almost kill one of the workers. But Thunderstrike goes over and kind of has that Spider-Man moment where Spider-Man was trying to keep the building up. Thunderstrike has flung to kind of protect this person, and of course the kind of head of the police unit had told him, you got to watch yourself, you got to get your head on straight for this, because you're a liability to yourself and my team. And this is kind of the moment where he kind of gets into it and is able to save the person and buck off the rest of the stone. And of course, the head of the police unit is able to kind of like keep the gray gargoyle in check for a little bit. And of course, Thunderstrike's able to kind of lay him out. And the head person of the chemical compound plant had been working instead of a permanent stone solution to pretty much take away his powers for a little bit as they take him out. It's like, that's a pretty nice ending. And Thunderstrike is called on to do another one because they've got news of another thing that would need Thunderstrike's help. And he says, all right, let's go do this. So that was an enjoyable one. I don't really see Thunderstrike used a lot. It was kind of cool to see a nice story that kind of focused on what he can kind of accomplish. The last one deals with Lady Sif and Jane Thor. And this was more along the lines of when she was still keeping her identity kind of a secret. This is actually when Odinson was kind of accusing Lady Sif of being Thor. And, of course, her kind of being pissed about it. And she's able to kind of sense that Jane Thor is kind of working around and everything. And we get, of course, the dual kind of perspective of her thinking kind of normal human, not in the normal kind of typical Jane way, and then the kind of Thor way as she's speaking. And they're just kind of conversing a little bit before they see that some trolls have taken use of a mirror that they're going to try and use to get their enemies' kind of darkest secrets to use against them. And they go and they fight, and the thing is, Jane is very concerned that they'll be able to see her identity in this mirror, but they're able to get them into a spot where they're able to get the mirror. And Jane, of course, is like, hey, Sif was going to break it with her sword, but of course Thor's like, hey, let me use Mjolnir, that should pound it into stardust. And she throws it up, and we see all the people that are able to wield Mjolnir. And it's really kind of cool because it then shifts, and you can actually see Superman and Wonder Woman are able to wield it too. I'm like, wow, that's some pretty cool crossover kind of thing there. I mean, I knew that Superman was able to wield it in a crossover that Marvel and DC had done, but I wasn't quite sure how Wonder Woman kind of factored into that. And it was kind of nice to see that kind of happen as Thor was able to destroy the mirror and all that, and part with good way, in a good kind of place with Lady Sif. And she did still have kind of a piece of the mirror, and it just showed her reflection of who she really was. So I liked how each of these stories explored how different people can be worthy to wield Mjolnir and what it means to wield the power of Thor, and what kind of intrinsically kind of lets these people do that with Beta Ray Bill, Thunderstrike, and of course Jane, and wanting to help people and just seeing that innate goodness, and they don't want this power for themselves. They want this power to help people, and they don't covet the power as kind of an end in of itself, but as a means to facilitate a better kind of world with their own different kind of views. So I'm like, yeah, I always like it when they kind of explore those kind of things really within Thor's mythology. And I really enjoyed all the different stories and all the different kind of art styles. They all worked very well, and I didn't really see any issues or problem. I liked how they kind of moved through like these different eras and really showcased the best qualities of each character in each of the stories. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.